Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Deontay, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you embarrassed? Answer the question. I really hope you answer the question, Deontay Wilder. Aren't you embarrassed that you're still not a unified champion? Aren't you embarrassed that it's the year 2019 and you're still holding one version of the heavyweight belts? Aren't you embarrassed that when you won the WBC belt, the guy who currently has the 3 other versions of the belt had like 5 professional fights? Doesn't that embarrass you? Like, if I'm Deontay Wilder and I'm in his shoes, right? And I'm just like chilling in his house, right? In Alabama somewhere, right? And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute. This English fella from the UK called Anthony Joshua. Well, this guy got the WBA, the WBO, and the IBF and the WIBA, whatever that belt's called, titles. But I remember when I won my belt, this guy had like 5 fights. He had literally just turned pro. Like, if that was me, and I'm like thinking to myself, well, this guy was a prospect when I won my belt. 4 years later, he has all the other belts, and I still have my one belt. Like, I would feel embarrassed about that. That would make me feel embarrassed. I'll be like, how come he's the guy who unified and did what I was supposed to do? Why is he the one who's getting all the glory? You know, if Deontay Wilder to me comes across as a very envious fighter, and I think he's envious because he sees people calling Anthony Joshua like the best heavyweight in the division, and that pisses him off, right? It makes him angry because he's like, no, I'm the best heavyweight. How is this guy the best heavyweight, right? It pisses him off. But it's like, dude, he brought this on upon himself. Like, had he gone and challenged the other champions, had he gone and challenged Vladimir Klitschko, I'm not saying he would have beaten these guys, but had he at least tried, who knows, maybe he would have beaten him. Imagine he would have challenged Vladimir Klitschko. Let's say he would have beaten him. He would have become undisputed. There would be no Anthony Joshua. There would be no Anthony Joshua. Even if Deontay Wilder decided not to defend his unified belts against Anthony Joshua, even if he decided to duck Anthony Joshua, he could still, people will still be calling him the number 1 heavyweight because they'll be like, you know what? He got all the belts. But like I said, Deontay Wilder brought this upon himself when it's like he just sat back. It's like he won that belt and he was like, you know what? I'm content with what I won. I don't need to advance anymore in my career. What's the point? What's the point of advancing in my career? I won this WBC belt. Let me just sit back, chill, relax, and keep defending my belts against my mandatories. Because that's what Deontay Wilder's plan seemed to be. He just sat back, saw Vladimir Klitschko continue to defend his belts. Then he saw Vladimir Klitschko lose his belt to Tyson Fury. Then he saw the belts get scattered. Then he saw all the other fighters win the vacant belts. Then he saw all these other fighters defending their belts and unifying against the other champions. And now here we are, 2019, and Anthony Joshua held basically every other belt minus the WBC belt. Right? Like, and here is Deontay Wilder being pissed off that everyone's calling Anthony Joshua the number 1 heavyweight. But like I said, he kind of brought this on upon himself when he just sat there and let Anthony Joshua do all the work. That's what I said in a video in the past. Anthony Joshua does all the work. Right? Anthony Joshua does all the work. And Deontay Wilder just sits back and he doesn't do the work. He just defends his belt. That's what he does. He defends his belt. He just keeps defending his one belt. And that's why I say the fucked up part about that is Deontay Wilder sits back, defends his one belt. Anthony Joshua does all the work, but Deontay Wilder gets all the credit. Deontay Wilder's the boogeyman. Deontay Wilder's the baddest man on the planet. Anthony Joshua is a coward. This is how they treat Anthony Joshua. So, like I said, I I don't know how Deontay Wilder's not embarrassed by that. That he let a prospect, like, I would feel embarrassed, man. I would feel straight up embarrassed. Like, man, when I won this belt, this dude had like 5 fights. Like, yo, son, I won this belt. This dude had like 5 fights. Now he got like 3 out of the 4 major belts. He just leapfrogged me, dude. Like, that's how I would be feeling. Like, it's just, I don't understand. Like, Wilder just seems to not care about legacy, about trying to be great, you know. And he doesn't seem to care. It's like he doesn't seem to care that a fighter just surpasses him like that. And it's not even about the money. It's not even about the fact that Anthony Joshua is a higher, you know, he gets, you know, he's a bigger draw and he gets more money. It's just that you know, it's all right. You know, it's just that's boxing. Some fighters, they're more popular than other fighters, and when it comes to Joshua, he's just a bigger draw and he's a more, you know, boxing fans appeal to him more than Deontay Wilder. That's why he has a larger fan base, I guess. You know, but like I said, it's not even about that. I'm not even sitting here saying, oh yeah, Anthony Joshua has more money than Deontay Wilder. It's not even about that. It's just the fact that he just let Anthony Joshua just win all these other belts, and he just sat there and it's like he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. I don't care that this guy surpassed me. Like, you shouldn't have that mentality. If you're a boxer, a fighter, you should be like, no, I'm not gonna let this dude surpass me. I'm gonna get those belts. That's what his mindset should be. But it's like Deontay Wilder's mindset was just, let me just win this belt. I'm happy because now I get paid a little more, and I can just keep defending my belt until I retire. I'm not unify. What's the point of unifying? What, risk myself fighting this tough fight and might end up losing? Nah, B. I'd rather just stay WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Mike Tyson won that WBC belt in '86, but he unified, motherfucker. Mike Tyson unified. He didn't sit back and wait 5 years. He unified. I already gave you guys examples. Fighters go and unify, but for some reason Deontay Wilder hasn't.